Did China use an electromagnetic pulse weapon against India during the Galwan clashes of 2020, literally melting Indian soldiers? This question may sound directly taken from a science fiction, but the question is now doing the rounds on the internet. The discussion about this weapon or this incident was sparked by a statement of US Senator Bill Hagerty. He said during the India China clashes of Galwan, China used an EMP weapon against India, melting Indian soldiers or liquefying Indian soldiers. That was a horrible statement. Did it really happen? India and China have never confirmed the use of such a weapon. But at the same time, we should not ignore the fact that India has not denied also. India has not issued a strong rebuttal. Now, the next question is whether India and China possess such a weapon. The answer for that is yes, India and China have EMP weapons. So if somebody has a weapon, of course there is a chance of for using that. But it is not a proof to conclude that such a weapon was used during Galwan clashes. Now let's analyze all the possibilities. Take a hard look into what really happened at Galwan in 2020. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. Let's start with the Galwan incident of 2020. During an incursion by Chinese army, Indian army strongly resisted and pushed them back. But that time they were not willing to return so quickly. They attacked the Indian army. Indian army retaliated. During the first round, India had the advantage. Now, Indian army was most of the personnel were standing on the Galwan river, which was solidified, and Chinese army were panicked. Many of them were killed. Then suddenly supporting contingents arrived to help Indian soldiers. So that actually aggravated the situation for Chinese soldiers. It was at that time that a sheet of ice broke away, and Indian army men who were standing on that piece of ice or something like a small glacier, they were drowned in the Galwan river. That was how Indian army men or Indian soldiers got killed. India later accepted that 20 Indian soldiers were killed during the mishap. But China didn't accept that. China didn't make any statement. Years later, I think it was around 2 years later, that China accepted that 4 of their soldiers were killed during the clashes. But independent Western sources, especially Russian news agencies, Russian defense experts, Australian magazines, etc., reported that more than 40 Chinese soldiers were killed. So there is a chance that China might have used a secret weapon when their soldiers found themselves cornered. So they might have been forced to use some weapon. We don't know whether it was an electromagnetic pulse weapon. So this is the background. Now let's analyze whether any country has used such a weapon earlier. Now there is a report that appeared years ago. That report appeared in around 2012, I think. Then there were reports of India conducting a secret attack on a Pakistan base at Siachen Glacier, in which around 120 Pakistan soldiers were killed. Some of the reports said the operation which was named Operation Whitewash was the first was a directed energy weapon attack. It said India deliberately attacked, created an artificial avalanche, and Pakistan soldiers were drowned in that avalanche. Many point out that earlier also such an attack had not happened, and even later such an attack has never been reported. So this is the first reported, use of a directed energy weapon. But we don't know whether that really happened. Some still believe that that was a conspiracy theory. We are not sure about it. We don't have any evidence to prove that it was actually the impact of the use of a directed energy weapon. Then back in 2009 also there were reports in Indian media that Jawahar Tunnel, which is a tunnel in Kashmir, was covered with ice, and the Border Roads Organization of India found it very difficult to remove the ice. So then they sought the help of DRDO, that is the Defense Research and Development Organization of India, and they, with the help of their laser training center, which is called LATEC, where they easily removed the ice. And it was said that actually then the DRDO used their weapon named Kali, which is a directed energy weapon, and the full form of which is Kilo Ampere Linear Injector. Many reports later appeared about the Kilo Ampere Linear Injector. We don't know much about it. Now let's come to the latest developments in the field and what was the backdrop of Bill Haggerty's statement. Most probably, many people believe that Bill Haggerty made the statement after the newfound friendship between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping. So US is really annoyed at the new development. US wants to sow seeds of doubt in the minds of India and China. So they might have deliberately floated a conspiracy theory, and perhaps Bill Haggerty's statement could be the direct result of that. So that is one, theory. Then there is another reason, another factor, which is, Chinese army conducted a victory 2025 Victory Day parade a few days ago before Bill Haggerty made the statement. Then they displayed their new directed energy weapon or electromagnetic pulse weapon. It was named as LY-1. So Bill Haggerty might have been reminding the US administration about the new weapon of China. He might have been asking the US administration, what have you got to counter the new Chinese weapon? That might have been a question against the US administration. At present, it is reported that actually US is behind China in the research and development of directed energy weapon or EMP weapon. But at the same time, it is surprising that India is almost on a par with China. India has used such a weapon during a recent military exercise in which there was an integrated air defense system which was used in the exercise. And India destroyed low-flying drones with the help of a laser weapon. And it was reported that that weapon could produce a 30 kilowatt strong laser. And it was successful in destroying drones. Military sources later said this weapon is adequate to destroy low-flying drones, helicopters, and even low-flying aircrafts. Now India is trying to increase the strength of the laser. India plans to increase the strength to 300 kilowatt laser. So India has got the weapon, China has also got the weapon. Perhaps Bill Haggerty might have been reminding the US administration about the advancements in EMP weapon made by countries like India and China. We don't know the truth But anyway, it seems that in the coming days, directed energy weapons or electromagnetic pulse weapons are going to be the hot topic of discussion. I'll be back with updates to you. Meet you again. Till then, goodbye.